Yesterday was a heartbreaking day for me as a young father. My 3-year-old son Gappa, yesterday he seemed to have found the perfect place or the perfect space in Bangalore where he could have fun, play, run, jump, fall, and have the time of his life and be himself without us bothering or worrying or being concerned about his safety. It looked like that our search for that perfect space in Bangalore had come to an end. But less than 2 hours later, that perfect place or the perfect space was snatched away from us, or rather snatched away from my son Gappa. So I'll tell you what happened. Basically, ever since Gappa came into that age where we could engage him in activities, the so-called activities, we have resisted the urge to push him into those activities. Activities such as karate, martial arts, singing, music. All the things that we as young parents we want to push our children into. We have resisted that. Instead, we have encouraged him into free play, play in which he can play without any rules. The way he feels like, he can get bored, he can just be jumping and be doing nothing. So we are focused on that. We have intentionally facilitated such an environment, so that way we had done well. But recently his summer vacations began, and we thought we should look for some activity finally for channeling his energy. So we went back on our activity this thing. So our actual idea was that it shouldn't be that from morning to evening he's from one activity to another, so that he becomes skilled and he becomes talented and he becomes super duper in every way. That was not our idea. Okay. But finally we thought that some activity is required, some physical activity. So I researched a little bit. I thought of karate, I thought of swimming, I thought of skating. All these things came to my mind, but my research showed that all those were unidimensional, or they required a certain kind of structure. They would put him into a system. So under these circumstances, under our requirements, what suited us the most uh, was gymnastics. Gappa at his age, where he wants to run and play and move his body, which he does, he's a very active child. uh, Gymnastics seemed to be the best option. So in my mind, I had imagined that a gymnastics would be a place, a large space for my own childhood, for my own time as a gymnastics enthusiast as a child. I imagined that it would be a large place with soft cushions, no dangerous objects protruding outside. He can jump, run, have fun, and be safe. Okay, so that's what I imagined, and I immediately searched for gymnastic centers near me, and I came across two close to home. Okay, I called both the places. Both said that they admit only children over the age of 4.5. They said that Gappa is too small to take instructions. I understood that, but still I convinced one of them to allow us a demo class. Okay, I told them that if Gappa needs care and attention, I'll be there. I'll be there to handle him personally. They said, okay, fine, you come over and come and see how it suits you. We went there. Last evening we reached over there. But the moment I set my foot inside, my heart broke, or you can say my heart sank. Okay, my heart sank. I realized that things may not work out. Okay, the place felt more like it was a large space and everything, but it felt more like a classroom rather than what I had imagined. Okay, or what I had envisioned for Gappa. There were trainers, there were kids, as young as 4.5, uh, uh, till the age of 10, 12. Many kids, many of their parents sitting on the sides on chairs. Uh, so I thought Gappa is not to be taking instructions, because those kids, each of them was taking instructions. Okay. Uh, if the trainer said stand in a queue, they stood in queue, hop, they hopped, do these warm up exercises, they did them, do backflip, do somersaults, they did everything. Okay, as instructed. They knew the drill. Okay. Still, I thought, let's see. So I made Gappa get into the warm up session. There were other kids, more or less, they looked same size, but they were apparently older. They were 4.5, at least 4.5. Whereas Gappa is 3 years and 3 months old. So when the warm up session started, I was next to Gappa, while every other child was without their parent. And I tried to tell Gappa how to do a few things. He did replicate what the trainer was saying, and a few things he did as I suggested and as I advised. But every few minutes, every 30 seconds, 1 minute, his mind would waver. He would start looking for toys. He would want to do jumping. He would want to just fool around. Okay. And I thought, okay, maybe this is the end of the story over here. We will look for an alternative, some other solution. But just as I was worrying and I was thinking of alternatives, I realized that Gappa had found his space. Okay. Suddenly, Gappa started playing. He started running. He started jumping on the beams. He started climbing the ladders, the ropes, and then he would jump from there without any fear because there was wonderful cushion at the bottom, and he seemed to be having fun. Okay, and he was fearless, and the kind of fun he was eventually having, I was mesmerized. Okay, uh, I don't think I've seen him so active and so happy whenever we have taken him for those play settings such as in malls or more curated places. Never has he had so much fun, and it got even better. Sone pe suhaga, when he found a child, when he found another child, a 4.5-year old child who's also wearing dino dress. Okay, a dress with dinosaur imprints on them, just like Gappa was wearing a dino t-shirt. And Gappa took an immediate liking for him, and Gappa began playing with him. Okay, drawing his attention, running behind him, chasing him, punching the cushion with him, screaming with him. That child would scream, this child, Gappa would scream back into his face. That child was also very much like Gappa, very active, uh, uh, very nice child, very active child, and Gappa and that child seem to share the same vibe. Gappa was interested in that child. Gappa took, wanted to build friendship with that child, draw his attention. Not that child. Okay, that child was into himself. Okay, he was older. He saw this. I think he saw Gappa as a kid. So, but Gappa drew his attention and felt like as if Gappa had found a twin. Okay, and I was so happy. I had to do all the running around behind him so that he would stay safe. But Gappa was happy, and it was the happiest and the most active I've seen him in a long, long time. And mind you, Gappa is a very, very active child and a happy child. Okay, so I thought, our search had ended. And in all that, joy that I was soaking in, I forgot that the trainers or the management had to still give the consent to admit Gappa. So when it was, more than 2 hours later, when it was time to ask them, their response was what I expected and still shocking. Okay, shocking because I did not want that response, and expected because that was the right response. They said Gappa was not fitting into the system yet. He was too small to take instructions, and they basically very politely they conveyed that it would be a difficult task for them, managing such a small child when other kids were, so well behaved and they were so systematic. And I felt sad. I still wanted to make a last ditch attempt, and I proposed that how about I stay with Gappa just the way I did yesterday. Like, I stay with him full time. He jumps around, he plays around, he fools around. They don't have to bother at all. They don't have to even have to train him. They can take the fees. I will be with Gappa full time. Okay. uh, but again, their response to this was also a no, and they had valid reasons behind that. They said that all those parents who are sitting on the chairs right now, everybody want to step into the the gymnastic space. Okay, and then it will be a free for all. Okay, whom do they stop? And they had a point, and then we were disappointed. I was disappointed. Gappa didn't know. I had to actually literally lift him in my arms and take him away after saying the trainers thank you and bye bye, and with the promise that we would return very soon. But once we were out, and after discussing it with my wife, I realized that this is what Gappa needs and what Gappa wants and what's going to make him really, really happy. It's the perfect space we want for him, in a way that he can also be involved in an activity while indulging in free play. And then I researched a little about it to see if there are more such centers in Bangalore. Every center they take children only when they are older. The places in malls, they are more I don't know, fake if I may say it. Okay, they may have a space for kids to jump and all, but that environment is lacking. That genuine, authentic environment of a gymnastic center, of a raw gymnastic center. And I researched a little bit if I could buy mattresses and all that, and what all objects I need to set up a small gymnastic center at my own home. Here there's a lovely terrace I got. There's house is spacious, but turns out it's very, very expensive. uh, but even if I did manage to buy some of the stuff, how am I going to provide the environment, or how am I going to find him that friend that Gappa misses, that friend that Gappa had taken a liking for? I think that gymnastics had its vibe also because of the other kids, because of that particular kid and the other kids. Okay, how am I going to do that? It was one of those times when our zeal, we have been patient, we have been slow, but still, I think in this case we had rushed. Okay, we had rushed. Gappa was rushed before his age or before his time. So we got a reality check. You people, many of you must have set up something like this at your home, or you may have some idea where I can, find this a similar space. Let me know in the comment section. It will be comment section. It will be a great help. And do subscribe if you like. If you like this kind of content, the raw parenting stories I share it as it happens as much as possible. Do subscribe and do share it with other young parents that you may know. Somebody may benefit from this. Who knows? So, friends, take care. Bye bye.